Welcome to 91 Reasons, a pop culture-fueled rocket into the far reaches of nerd culture. Featuring your hosts, Jeff, Rachel, Luna, Austin, and Josie. It's Tucker time.
San Diego Comic-Con, the largest comic book event of the year. Hundreds of thousands of people pouring in costumes, major companies, giveaways, cosplay, celebration. It is a sight to behold. But do you ever wonder if Comic-Con could happen in spring instead? Not quite as big, but still pretty enjoyable. Do you ever wonder if there's a con like that? Well, with WonderCon, you've been answered. Comic-Con is smaller in the form of WonderCon, a close-to-home celebration of pop culture.
Wonder no more.
Yeah.
Hey, it's 91 Reasons. I am Jeff. I'm sitting here with
Austin.
Rachel.
And we are here to let you know that WonderCon is this weekend, March 23rd, 24th, and 25th. There's still some Sunday tickets left, and there were some 3-day tickets left, but not very many. So by the time this airs, it might be sold out.
Bye.
But if you are going to WonderCon, we wanted to let you know about a couple of things. The first is, there's a guy on aisle 6 who sells these blind bags. They're so awesome. Right? No?
Yeah.
No. What we wanted to tell you...
Probably, but that's not what we're telling them.
Yes. What we wanted to tell you is that if you don't bring food, the snack bar on the left has better chicken strips, according to Austin, than the snack bar on the right.
It's true.
It's very true.
Actually, if Luna was here, he would tell you there is some secret corn dog line that nobody's ever in, and it's the cheapest meal there, and
that is
about
in
it all the
LA
time.
Convention Center. WonderCon this time is in the Anaheim Convention Center.
Okay, wrong one. Sorry.
It moves a lot.
Forget about Ixnay on the corn dog cake.
No corn dog. Sorry.
No corn dogs
Okay.
here.
It's at Anaheim Convention Center this weekend. It's actually the biggest it's ever been. They're actually going to have a Ready Player One panel. Like, that's a big get.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of signings.
It like grows every year.
Yeah,
We
because
called it the baby brother of Comic-Con, but honestly, last year, it was pretty much Comic-Con.
the first year we went, there were empty tables.
Yeah, it's
There aren't any empty
so
tables
changed
anymore.
now.
It even has offside events. My favorite offside gives away free slussies and has hot dogs. It's called 7-Eleven.
But you are full of it, man.
Oh my
You are so
God.
full of it.
There's a great coffee bean and tea leaf across the street, too, so you can get a mocha
Yeah,
and a hot dog.
let's go get a coffee there over there.
Sounds
Somebody
good to
will
me.
be busy.
Well, I
So-
can be you if we coffee.
Okay.
In the small press area, we are going to be at table, what, Rachel?
37.
We're at table 37, if you can believe that.
Kevin Smith.
My
that's,
favorite number.
that's really hard to believe, right?
It's luck. It's fate. It's meant to be.
It's a last-minute booking. They were sold out, and somebody canceled. So we're going to be at Space 37. We'll have copies of my new book, Your Friend in Time, How Back to the Future Changed My Life. And we'll be selling books all weekend. So a signed book is only how much?
$10.
What a deal!
Can't believe it.
And we only have a limited number of books because it was last minute. You have to order these things ahead of time. So when they're gone, they're gone. That's Friday and Saturday. Sunday, we'll still be selling books if we have them.
Yes, if we have them.
But more importantly, I'm hosting a panel about Back to the Future.
Wow.
Wait, I have to tell you a funny thing.
Yes.
So the other day, the panels were released, and Austin's looking through them all. And he's coming, he's like,
Oh, God, I feel
Oh,
dumb
Mom.
just listening to this.
there's a really cool Back to the Future panel.
It's like, ooh, Back to the Future panel.
Dad, check that out. It is Dad's
It's
panel.
my panel.
It was weird. I opened it up and I'm like, Jeff Tucker. Is there another Jeff Tucker? Why is he on the Comic-Con site? Oh, that's my dad. Oh, whoops.
Yes, I submitted months ago to host a panel, and they accepted it. So it's Back to the Future, answering the unanswered questions. And I lined up an amazing panel for you guys. This is going to be the must-see panel of the con.
Better get there early. I have a feeling this room is going to be standing room only.
I think they put us in a small room, and I think we are going to fill it.
They're not prepared for us.
Because here's the thing. There's a lot of Back to the Future fans, and rarely does it get a panel. Because it's normally about Star Wars or Marvel, but this is more niche. So I think we're going to get all of those fans who are like, wow, that's
Back to the
cool.
Future.
Plus,
Yeah.
the lineup is going to fill it up anyway. So I'll be hosting. I'll be moderating the panel. And on the panel, we have an amazing lineup of guests. First up, Chris Gore.
Woo, Chris!
Chris Gore, creator of Film Threat Magazine and host of DV Doomsday from G4, Attack of the Show. Right?
G4 was great.
Yeah.
We were very sad when G4 went off the air.
It's so weird. We were such a huge fan of that show before we actually knew Chris.
Yeah.
I remember a Comic-Con. On the floor, there was a big crowd of people, and I turned, and it was Chris Gore, and I'm like, that's the guy from the TV show we watched, and I snapped a picture, and I still have it to this day, because it's before we even knew who Chris was.
Yeah.
I just treasure that picture so much.
Yeah, I met Chris through the Season Pass podcast, and we are like brothers.
I was getting ready to say, and then we became friends with Chris, and I'm like, oh, you're just like my husband.
Yeah, we're very similar.
So, yeah, then it kind of, faded
But
away.
here's the thing. Chris is a big Back to the Future fan. He's one of those guys where if you put on a pop culture documentary, odds are Chris is in it. He's an expert on everything pop culture. And you can't have a panel without Chris, right?
Nope.
Yeah, no.
Okay, next to Chris this is a huge get. Justin Scard, the host of Randomland on YouTube. His channel has over 100,000 subscribers. He is a vlogger who goes up and down Route 66. He goes to Disneyland. Right now he's in New York. And what he did before he started Randomland is he was the first guy on the internet to map out every Back to the Future filming location. So he's been everywhere that Marty and Doc have been and has documented it. Even some of the really hard, obscure stuff, like when Marty goes up the stairs in Biff's Pleasure Palace in Part 2, he knows where those stairs are. He has pictures of him on those stairs.
He's going to have a lot of good stories.
He knows a lot about Back to the Future, and he's a really good guy. I'm so excited to have him.
Another odd way of meeting him in a parking lot a year
Just
ago.
random land meeting. And we're also good friends of his friend Tyler. So
Tyler.
Tyler's a good guy. So Tyler and Alex will be there, and Justin will be there. So if you're a fan of Randomland, and who isn't,
Right.
that's another reason to go to the panel. But that's not where it ends. We have 3 more guests on the panel. First up, Joe freaking Walser. Joe Walser is the guy who headed up the Time Machine restoration team. So when you go to the Peterson Auto Museum, or for a short time at Universal Studios, and see the what's called the A car, that's the car that looks the best, Joe's the guy who supervised and made sure that it looks better than it did when it rolled off Doc's truck.
All right.
Here's the thing. Joe's a tough cookie. Joe's a hard ass. But to Joe, that's a compliment. Because I write about Joe in my book. And I let Joe read the book. And Joe wrote me and said, you're totally on with how you describe me. That's exactly... I mean, he is. But when you're talking about the DeLorean and restoring it to movie quality, or actually better than movie quality, he demanded the best. And if you've ever seen the car up close, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Because it is breathtaking to see the car. Inside and out look like it does in the movie. It's just totally amazing, right?
Yeah.
So next to Joe is Michael Klastorin. Probably don't know that name, but Michael Klastorin was the unit publicist on Back to the Future 2 and 3. He has a bit part as a cowboy in 3. And
I didn't even know that.
And he wrote the ultimate visual guide to Back to the Future. He also wrote, I'm looking at it right now, that scrapbook that you found at the thrift store.
Oh,
He wrote that. So, the first guy to ever, other than George Geip, who wrote the novelization, the first guy to really write in depth about Back to the Future is Michael. And he wrote the Ultimate Visual Guide, which has more pictures of Eric Stoltz as Marty McFly than have ever been published before. I bought it at the 30th anniversary event, and it was maybe my best purchase because if you're a fan of the movie, this is every piece of minutia from the spark of Bob Gale seeing his father's high school yearbook all the way to the ride and beyond, right? It's amazing. So that's 4, and then rounding out the panel is Steve Concotelli, a name you probably don't know, but Steve Concotelli, not only was he a segment producer on Attack of the Show, so he knows Chris very well, but he's the director of the documentary Outatime, restoring the Delorean time machine. So this guy worked side by side with Joe for a full year documenting the restoration of the car and getting on camera some of the most amazing Back to the Future moments that aren't in the movie, but just real life moments, because he tells the tale of when the car was on display at Universal Studios, people would just take pieces from it. And somebody took the flux capacitor, like the real, actual movie flux capacitor, and whoever that was, when Joe and his team put out the word that they were restoring the car, and if you had a piece, now's the time to send it home, this guy sent it home. And they open the box and show you the flux capacitor being reunited with the car for the first time in years. And it's a really touching moment. It's a very well done documentary. It's available for rental or purchase on a lot of sites. So just Google Outatime, and that's the director, Steve Concotelli. He's been in Hollywood for years. That's an amazing panel, right?
Amazing.
It's weird because when I thought about doing a Back to the Future panel, I thought, well, if I don't get any guests, I could probably talk for an hour by myself. I don't think anybody would show up, but I could talk for an hour by myself, right? But then it just sort of like not steamrolled, but it just gathered all this, it snowballed in this big thing.
You've got a cavalcade of time travelers.
Yeah.
A smorgasbord of
Well, here's
The audience gets a chance to ask some questions.
Yes, and we're going to give out copies of my signed book to people.
Chance to get a book.
And after the panel, we're going to invite everybody back to the table, Space 37, to meet Justin and get a signed Back to the Future Randomland poster. He has Back to the Future Randomland poster.
I'm sitting in line at my own table.
Plus, if you want the visual guide to Back to the Future, Michael Klastorin will be there with, you'll be able to purchase a signed copy.
Wow, so much Back to the Future at Space 37.
Here's the weird thing. The panel and everything around it is, dare I say, Austin, legitimate?
Yeah.
Like, this sounds legit, right?
This is branded, man.
This is the kind of thing where if I wasn't involved, I would have to
go to it.
I'd have to go, right?
Right.
It would be the only thing I cared about at the con. Well, the best part is that if you've got a 3-day pass, you can enjoy the con Friday, enjoy the con Saturday, and then on Sunday when it's winding down, join us for our panel. We are 1:30 to 2:30 on Sunday in room North 200B. It'll be in the show notes if you want to bring it up on your phone.
Wait. I didn't hear that again. Could you repeat?
Sunday, March 25th, 1:30 to 2:30. It's only 1 hour. It's going to go so quick. Room North 200B.
Wow. And you're going to have to go then. Because once the weekend ends, you can't go back to the future.
No, you can't go back. There's no getting back. It's heavy, right? Great Scott.
Pretty
And I'd
heavy.
love to see everyone come by the table and say hi. You'll find me there all weekend. I have lots of great help. I have Krista Simpson helping me on Saturday. Come say hi to Krista. I have Grace on Sunday. She'll be sporting some fun 50s attire. I'm doing Ghostbusters on Saturday. Yeah, it's not Back to the Future, but hey, my husband likes it. I will be in an awesome Back to the Future dress on Sunday. It's going to be so much fun. I have giveaways. I have little skateboards and 80s keychains, pencils that say your friend in time.
Wow. Amazing.
So much.
And a
So much.
signed book, $10. What a deal.
Amazing.
$10.
That's cheaper than
tax,
Amazon.
Flat rate.
I once
$10. Cash, please.
I once tried buying a 2-inch anime figure and it was $13.95.
The book is cheaper.
The
and
book
the book
is cheaper.
The book will take you 2 to 3 hours to read, if not longer.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of enjoyment. So join us at WonderCon
Yay!
this weekend at the Anaheim Convention Center for copies of my book, Your Friend in Time, How Back to the Future Changed My Life, Space 37 in small press, and then join us Sunday 1:30 to 2:30 in room North 200B for Back to the Future, answering the unanswered questions.
I wonder if you'll be at the con.
I wonder. Here's an example of what we'll be talking about on the panel. Because I just did the itinerary today and sent it out to all the guests so that there's no surprises. Marty went back in time from 1985 to 1955, and he interrupted his parents' falling in love. That's the plot of the movie, right?
Yes.
But what else did Marty screw up while he was there? What other things did he mess around in the timeline? I'll give you an example. When Marty buys a cup of coffee at Lou's Cafe, he pays with modern day money.
Oh.
Lou doesn't notice, but now there's because what are the odds that he had a 1955 or earlier nickel for that cup of coffee? Probably not. So that's just one thing. Or Marty tears the page of the phone book from the phone book, right? Well, what if 2 weeks from now somebody needed that page to save a life? It's gone. It wasn't gone the first time.
This is what you think about? God, you're annoying.
I know, isn't it great? And that's only the tip of the iceberg. Some of the questions are even crazier. And I'm going to ask my panel of Back to the Future experts.
All right.
All right, so we'll see you at WonderCon this weekend. It's Back to the Future Fueled Weekend sponsored by 91 Reasons.
Thanks for listening. By Gramthar's Hammer. We'll be back with another episode. Live long and prosper. May the force be with you. So say we all. Hey, hey, hey.